Imagine waking up in a world without smartphones, laptops, or even portable radios. Before the transistor, this was everyday life. People depended on bulky machines powered by vacuum tubes. These tubes were large, fragile, and used a lot of electricity. They broke easily and made devices hot and unreliable. Listening to music or news wasn't easy. Radios were heavy and had to stay plugged into the wall. Early televisions and computers filled whole rooms. If you wanted to compute something, you might need a giant machine that was slower than the phone in your pocket today. Communication was slow, and technology was out of reach for most people. Life was slower, and people had to be patient. Technology was something you visited, not something you carried. The world felt bigger because you couldn't connect instantly. All of this changed with one small invention, the transistor. The world was waiting for something smaller, faster, and more reliable. The transistor was about to shrink technology and put it in everyone's hands. The story of the transistor begins in 1947 at Bell Labs, a famous research center in New Jersey. Three brilliant scientists, John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley, worked together to solve a big problem. They wanted to find a better way to control electric signals in devices. Their teamwork was key. At Bell Labs, the trio experimented with materials like germanium and gold. They wanted to replace vacuum tubes with something smaller and more efficient. After many trials, they built the first working transistor. It looked simple, a tiny piece of semiconductor with wires attached. But it was a huge breakthrough. The first transistor was called a point-contact transistor. It worked by controlling the flow of electricity through a piece of germanium. When a small electrical signal was applied, the transistor could turn it on or off, or make it stronger. This ability to control current is what makes transistors so useful. The invention didn't just solve a technical problem, it opened the door to a new world of electronics. For their work, Bardeen, Brattain, and Shockley won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1956. Their invention changed everything. Transistors quickly replaced vacuum tubes in many devices. They were smaller, used less power, and lasted longer. Soon, companies began making transistor radios. For the first time, people could carry music and news in their pockets. Radios became affordable and portable, changing how people experienced the world. Transistors made computers faster and much smaller. Instead of filling rooms, computers could fit on desks. This led to the rise of Silicon Valley, a place in California where many tech companies started. The name comes from silicon, the material used to make most transistors. The area became famous for innovation and new ideas. As technology advanced, engineers found ways to make transistors even smaller. They began putting many transistors together on a single chip. These integrated circuits, or ICs, powered everything from calculators to spacecraft. The more transistors you could fit, the more powerful and smart your device became. By the 1970s and 1980s, computers were everywhere. People used them at work, at school, and at home. All this was possible because of the tiny transistor. Today, transistors are so small you can't see them with your eyes. Modern microprocessors, like the brain of your computer or phone, hold billions of transistors on a chip the size of your fingernail. In 2025, some chips have over 100 billion transistors. Each one switches on and off to process information at lightning speed. Transistors power everything: smartphones, tablets, cars, airplanes, and even rockets. Artificial intelligence, or AI, uses powerful processors filled with transistors to learn and think. Space missions depend on tiny, tough transistors to explore Mars and beyond. Every photo you take, every message you send, and every video you watch relies on transistors working together. The transistor is small, but its impact is huge. It turns science fiction into reality. Without it, our world would be slower, less connected, and less fun. The transistor story isn't over. As they get even smaller and smarter, transistors will keep changing our lives. This tiny invention made the modern world possible. That's why the transistor is one of the most important inventions of all time.